so a small group of us that do a Bible study, going through a 14-week Bible study on Blog TV, and just got finished with that. And an interesting topic came up, and I got to thinking about it, and it was about a story something that happened to me, some advice my father gave me when I was young that I'd always carried with me, and it was always has really served me well and gotten me through a lot of tough times. And I hadn't, I was aware that I had thought about it, and aware that I'd remember this in many difficult times, but until discussing it on the during the Bible study, I didn't fully appreciate the importance of it, how much it meant to me, and what a sage piece of advice that was. And it started with I'll just tell you the story. When I was in high school, or when I was in grade school, excuse me, I was a wrestler. I was on the wrestling team, and my dad wasn't a particularly great wrestler, average, as good as the next guy, I guess. And my dad and his brother, I believe, were wrestlers in high school, and so I kind of had that background. I remember before the first match, one thing my dad said to me, and I didn't think too much of it at the time, was he said, "You know what, there's never any excuse to get pinned." And I thought, well, I didn't really think much about it. Yeah, well, whatever, Dad. People get pinned all the time. What are you talking about? And what he said was, there's never any excuse to get pinned. The only time a person ever gets pinned is when they give up. Just because you're getting beat, just because you have an opponent that is stronger, faster, or more talented than you, you may lose, and you will lose, but you don't have to let him pin you. And I remember him saying that, and not giving it a whole lot of thought. Well, as it came about, I remember it was our first wrestling match. I don't know how old we were. I don't remember all the times, the dates, but maybe 13, 14 or so. In school, we show up for our first match. And as you probably know, in the gymnasium, you have our team is sitting on one side, and you have the opponents on the other side. And when you're in wrestling, you're always you're measured up by weight. You always wrestle someone that's similar size to you, and so you're sitting there with your teammates, and you're looking across the way, and you're trying to figure out who it is that's who's your size. It's not the big guy, it's not the small guy, and you're sizing everything up to see who you're going to draw. Well, this particular match, there was one guy over there that was sitting over there that was exceedingly scary looking, and I remember his name. His name was Vu. He was Vietnamese, and most of us were scrawny little kids, but not Vu. Vu was very muscular, very athletic. Even though he was small in stature, he was obviously much more developed, much more athletic, much older than we were, even though he was small. And my dad joked that Vu had probably spent 3 years coming over on the boat from Cambodia and was started school 3 or 4 years later than the rest of us. But we didn't like the looks of him, and a lot of people were pretty scared to be matched up with him. Well, as luck has it, of course, I get to wrestle with Vu. And I was just not looking forward to this. I remember very clearly the whole thing. I remember walking out on the mat and shaking hands with this guy, obviously far superior to me physically in strength, and it wasn't going to be much of a match. But as I entered into wrestling with this guy and into the match, it was obvious to me that there was no way I was going to beat this guy. And it got to the point very soon where I found myself on the mat and looking like I'm going to get pinned. And those words came into my mind that my dad told me, and I remember them, and he said, the only reason to ever be pinned is to give up. And it came to me, I understood what it was that he meant. And although that Vu had beat me in points and was obviously going to win the match, I did not have to give up. I did not have to let him pin me. And I didn't. And it was the longest match of my life, but I never did give in to that. And everything in my body, everything in my being told me that there was no point of continuing, no point of going any further or going on. You had lost the match, why endure the suffering? And I remember those words time and time again. They played back in my mind. The only reason to be pinned is to give up. That piece of advice my dad gave me has been so important to me. My dad was growing up was a person of few words. He didn't usually talk or say anything unless he had something important to say. And that's something that I really treasure. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I have a son of my own now. And when I look back and I think about how well that has served me, how many times I've been in the valley of the shadow of death, so to speak, when I've been in situations that were scary, situations that were dangerous, situations where I didn't know if I was going to be able to come out the other side. Those words, that advice came to me, and I was able to remember the advice from my dad, and to put my head down and fight through it, and to get through it. Many times have those words come back to me and rung in my ears, and have given me the strength to get through situations, and I dare say life and death situations more than once. It's the thing is that is so lacking with kids and men. So many people today is having that mentality, having that attitude. Just because you don't know how to do something, just because you aren't prepared or are not trained, it doesn't mean that you have to give up. It doesn't mean that you have to lose hope or to quit. There's another thing that was not welcome in the house my father would correct us on, was to use the word can't. He didn't like the word can't. It was not to be in our vocabulary. And that's something that I have taken from him and used in raising my own son Jack. Many times he'll come to me with the word, "Oh, Papa, I can't do this," or "I can't do that." And whatever it is, I stop him. I get down on his level. I look him in the eyes, and put my hands on his shoulders, or get his attention to look at me eye to eye. This is important. I explain to him, we don't use the word can't in this family. Can't is not in our vocabulary. And I won't always be able to be there with him if he finds himself in a situation where he's in trouble. I won't always be able to be there in a situation where he is facing potentially a life or death situation. But now is the time that I can serve him with those. Now is the time where I can teach him that it's important to never give up. It's important to never throw in the towel. It's important to never use the word can't. I've never really thought about how much that meant to me, how much that piece of advice meant to me. I don't know if my dad probably doesn't even remember saying it, but I just want to. I want to tell you how important. I cannot emphasize enough how important that has been to me. And the reason why I want to tell you this is that if you're raising kids, if you're raising little ones, boys or girls, to instill that mentality in them, to demonstrate it to them, to show them, whether they be girls or boys, I don't care what it is, take them out into the shop. A lot of people think that there are boy things and there are girl things, and I agree. I certainly agree with that to an extent. But if I had girls, you should bring him out there, and you should be having him involved, changing the oil in your car. You should have them involved when you're doing do-it-yourself projects around the house. You should talk to them about and demonstrate to them what it is like, how a man it should be able to have an attitude of to be able to not give up, to not quit, to be able to take care of things. It is not so important the individual lesson. It's not so important the individual task that you're doing at the time. What's important is seeing their father or someone that respect, perhaps their grandfather, whoever you may be, wherever role you may find, for them to see a person taking care of problems, taking care of solutions, and constantly instilling in them the idea that there's nothing they can't do. There's nothing that can't be overcome. And one thing that you'll talk, if you talk to anyone who knows anything about the Special Forces or the Navy SEALs, for example, I have something that was interesting to me for a while, and I looked into a lot, and I talked to people that had went through the BUD/S training. I talked to people that were familiar with it, not posers, not wannabes, but people that had actually been there. And I had asked them, what does it take to get through this? Because you question yourself. You want to know, am I going to commit my life and to try to go down this road? I want to know, do I have what it takes before I make this commitment? So it would make sense to talk to people that have been there. And they all told me the same thing. They said, when you have the recruits there, and they're all lined up there, you look out across there and you look and you see who your competition is, because it is a competition. And you see the guys that are obviously athletes. You see the guys that are muscular and big and tall and handsome and strong. And you think, well, this guy, obviously he'll make it, but this small guy over here, this 5'4" guy, this skinny guy, he's obviously not going to make it. What the guys will tell you and what the instructors will tell you is that physical stature has nothing to do with it. Physical ability has very little to nothing to do with it. The only thing that makes a difference, what they're looking for, is who's going to quit. It doesn't matter if you're a 6'4", 250-pound specimen, a linebacker, a natural athlete. If you're unwilling to persevere, if you're unwilling to, if you're willing to say I quit or I can't or throw in the towel, it doesn't make any difference of what your preparation has been, what your qualifications are, what you've done in the past. It doesn't make any difference. The only thing that matters is who's willing to stick it out. Who's willing? It may not be the fastest guy. It may not be the strongest guy. It may not be the best rifleman. He may not be the best swimmer. But he is the guy who is unwilling to quit. He is the guy that is unwilling to throw in the towel. And that is what they're looking for. When they find that man, that's the man that they're looking for. And that's what it's going to take if you're going to be a leader, a patriarch in your family. If you have taken on the responsibilities to make the necessary preparations for economic collapse, for preparations for natural disasters, volcanoes, hurricanes, whatever they may be, as the head of your household, as the patriarch of your family, that's what you're going to have. Because you are going to be looked at to be provider, security, advisor. You are going to be the man in charge, and your family is going to be relying upon you. They're going to be relying upon you for the ability to take care of them. They're going to be relying upon the skills that you have and have developed. They're going to be relying upon you for your state of mind and your attitude. And they're going to be looking to you for encouragement, for guidance, and for leadership. And it's a heavy weight. It's going to be a heavy responsibility, and something we need to think about. It's a lot of you guys out there stockpiling guns and like the guns, and we've been over this before. That may be an important thing for you and for your situation, but more importantly is that mindset. Some people we talked about having a combat mindset. It all comes down to the same thing. that lesson, that piece of advice that my dad gave me, that the only reason to ever be pinned is to give up. And that has really served me well, so thanks, Dad. You don't know how much that meant to me, and how much that has helped me, and helped me to form that mindset, and whatever it was. And you've always been a good example of that, and I appreciate that. So I thought it was worth a video, the story, and it's something. It's the most important of all preparations, is the mindset. It is the most important, next to air. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you soon. If you would like to join in our Bible study, you are always welcome. It's Sunday night, Blog TV, 6 o'clock. You can just go there and search Wranglerstar. The link's on my front channel page. We have a small group that varies between 13 and, say, maybe 9 and 15 or so. But we're 8 weeks into it. It's introductory, and we have some study guides that we're working on. And come and join us. You don't need to comment if you don't like to, but you're always welcome to come and open it up to discussion. And we're enjoying it. There's a good group of guys there, and you're always welcome. So. Maybe there's a lot of you out there that are not aware of it. I haven't really publicized it, but we're there, 6 o'clock. So, thanks for watching, and we'll have some more videos coming real soon. I really appreciate the support, and see you later.